We have all been in the middle of a heated argument, one time or another, and our bodies have physical response to this. So our heart starts beating really fast, or our breath starts getting shorter and shallow, or our thoughts start spiraling. What if I told you that you have a tool that can change the way you perceive any stressful situation, and it's right under your nose? Of course, we're talking about breathing. So, breathing is not just there to keep you alive, it is a groundbreaking new topic of research that can tell us that our brain has a secret pathway to emotional freedom. And today we're going to dive into how breathing can rewire your brain from the inside out. Most of us breathe around 20,000 times a day. That's a lot. And this is without thinking about it. But what psychology has to say about this is that we have certain unconscious patterns that tie our emotional reactions to our breathing, to our physical reaction. So think about when you're feeling anxious. So when you're feeling anxious, your breath starts getting shorter and starts getting shallow. But think about when you're feeling calm. Your breath is deep and naturally steady. Understanding that transformation happens when you make the unconscious conscious, your breath is the most accessible breach that you have between of them, the two worlds. So unlike your heartbeat or your digestion, breathing operates unconsciously and consciously. It is automatically and voluntarily part of us. So it gives us a direct line between your automatic nervous system and how to get a handle of it. Let's move into the neuroscience of it all. When you're breathing slowly and deliberately, you're not only just moving air, you are conducting a symphony within your brain. And here's what's happening. So, your vagus nerve, this crucial part, the crucial pathway between your brain and your body, carries a calming signal upward into your brain. So it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, and this is what researchers called rest and digest, which is quieting the fight or flight response that we have in our bodies. But this goes deeper than that. Recent studies of EEG show that breathing rhythms actually synchronize different areas in your brain, different regions in your brain, and it enhances the alpha waves that are associated with a calm state of mind, and it reduces the beta waves that are associated with anxiety. And from a psychological standpoint of view, this is very profound. So, breathing and your breath gives the prefrontal cortex, or the CEO of your brain, the oxygen and the neural stability to stay online and be present during stressful situations. So think about this. How many times you have reacted on an impulse and later come to regret it? This is your amygdala hijacking your thinking brain. And controlled breathing can help change that effect, that chemical effect in your body. It reduces the amygdala reactivity and it strengthens the cortex function that can help you think through stressful situations. In psychology, we believe that emotional regulation is the foundation of every healthy relationship. So, when you can pause and breathe rather than respond and react, you're not only managing your own nervous system, but you're managing the emotional climate of that conversation itself. But let's make this practical. So, here are two research backed techniques that you can start using immediately while you finish watching this video. So, the first one is box breathing, which is inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. Navy SEALs use this in very extreme pressure to rapidly shift from nervous system into a coherent state of mind. There's another breathing technique that can also help you, and it's 4-7-8. So you inhale for 4, you hold for 7, and then you exhale for 8. When your exhales are longer than your inhales, it kicks in and it triggers your vagus nerves to that relaxed state. And it's one of the most powerful ways to get into decompression mode and regulate your breathing when you're stressed out. It is also very important to know that we usually don't breathe correctly. We breathe in from the chest and not from the stomach or using our diaphragm. And it's very important to know that you're using your whole capacity of your lungs. So a way to know is try and not move the chest while you're breathing, but try and put your hands in your stomach. And when you breathe in, your stomach should inflate like a balloon. And when you exhale, just deflate. That's the way you know that your lungs are being filled completely and that you're having a deep, calming breath. So here's a real scenario. So you are about to go into a bar to see your friends, but you are not drinking. And instead of just going in there defensive or scared or anxious, how about you take a few minutes to do box breathing? And this is not to avoid the situation, not to run or not to make decisions from the autopilot, but rather that you're preparing your nervous system to engage from a place of clarity and not reactivity or autopilot. And here's where it gets really interesting. So, from a psychological perspective, regular breath work doesn't just help you manage symptoms, it can transform the unconscious patterns beneath those stressful situations. So, if you're constantly doing breath work and understanding how your body feels when you're feeling it through breath, you start to notice subtle shifts in your emotional landscape. So you can sense, like, oh, this afternoon I felt anxious and I was doing a lot of shallow chest breathing. And this stress can carry a particular rhythm of breath. This awareness creates what psychologists call mentalization, which is the ability to understand your own mental state and the mental state of others. And you're not just breathing differently, you're developing a more conscious way and relationship with your inner world. Research confirms what contemplatives have known for centuries already, and it's that changing how we breathe can very much rewire how we feel, how we think, and how we relate to life challenges. Your breath is always with you. It is with you from boardrooms to bedrooms to conflicts and celebrations. It is the most reliable tool to step off the emotional autopilot and back into that conscious choice. What would change in your life if you could access that calm, clarity, and emotional freedom through something as simple as breathing? So, next time that you notice stress rising, remember, you have a direct line to your nervous system. So, one conscious breath at a time, you're not just managing that moment in particular, but you're rewiring your brain for a lasting transformation. So, if you want to learn more about this topic or many others, make sure to download the app Unconscious Moderation. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, where we talk about different topics and how to change from autopilot living to a more aware lifestyle. So, see you there.